I'm Julie Fei Fan Balzer. Now, washi tape has been around for a while, and I own most of it, but I've come up with a different way to use it on cards. So how we're going to start is over with my electronic cutter. I'm going to go ahead and grab a cut file that looks a little bit like honeycomb almost. It has these kind of hexagon shapes cut out of it, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out of a white piece of cardstock. Now, while that's cutting, let's talk about how we prepare our washi tape. I have an ugly little scrap of paper here, nothing special, and I have a collection of different washi tapes. So this gets incredibly difficult and technical, or very, very easy. I'm basically going to rip a strip and put it down. And if my strip didn't go the entire distance, who cares? We can fix it later. The whole idea is I'm basically trying to turn this ugly scrap of paper, which is actually sun faded because of the way that it was stored, into something colorful. So you can go all in one direction like I'm doing here, or you can go in multiple directions, crossing over. One of the nice things about washi is that it tends to be transparent. So it means that if you do layer pieces over each other, you can see the other pieces and sometimes the other patterns through it, which is really kind of neat. So I would just continue layering and layering and layering until I have something that looks a little bit like this or this. But I want to show you the difference between these two different kinds of applications of washi tape. So my cut is done. I'm going to go ahead and unload that. Let me take off the paper, take off my cut file here with my little hexagons. And it's just a good practice to get into to clean your mat right away. Now you can save these, which I like to, for another project because you never know when it might be useful. And in fact, I always think that people throw things away too quickly. There's always a way to turn that garbage into something fabulous. Okay, so let's look at the difference here. If I put this over these blue stripes, it's really cool, but you can tell that they're stripes, right? You can sort of read the stripes through it. This one's a little more haphazard, and while it may look messy, if I put this over it, you sort of almost lose the fact that there's continuity, and I can break it up even more by taking a look through here and adding washi tape where I want to let's say like break up that orange stripe that goes across the center, or change the fact that, you know, maybe there's too much polka dotting in there. And you can see how quickly and easily you can change that look. And all I need to do then is take a card base, glue my washi tape panel onto it. You could even use foam adhesive to keep this a little bit away, add a sentiment, and it will look very much like the finished one that I have over here. So that is just one idea. I have a lot more. So let's clear this all away. Another thing that you can do is you can use text. We all love text, right? So you can write something simple like thank you or hello, and I'm just going to use one of the built-in fonts in here to go ahead and write out the word hello. H-E-L-L-O. Say okay. I can see it there on the screen. Now, I know how big my card base is, right? I can see it right here. And in fact, I like to sometimes use my mat as a ruler. So each of these squares is an inch. So I can see that my card is about 5.5 by, it looks like 4.5. So that means that I want to make sure that my text is smaller than that so it will fit on there. So I'm going to go ahead and resize that so that it's definitely going to fit. And once it is the right size, then I'm going to take anything that you've already covered in washi tape, any kind of shape or anything like that, put it on my mat. I like to use a scraper or a brayer or something to really solidly make sure that my paper is well adhered to my mat. Then I'm going to load that into the machine, just like so. And we are going to scan this in so that I can perfectly place my file and make sure that it is not off in any way. So let's go ahead and scan this in, and then I'm going to be able to see it and place it and kind of get a little bit choosy. I like to think I'm not a controlling person, but sometimes when I'm making things, it comes out because I want things to be just a certain way, which is why I keep telling myself to loosen up a little. But this is a fun way to use up old paper and old washi tape, things that haven't seen the light of day in a while. So I'm going to drag this over, and I can always change this scan so it's a little bit lighter so I can more easily see my cut file, and I can choose exactly where I want to place it on here. I think I'm going to put it right about there, maybe even a little bit lower like here. Then I'm going to say okay, and let's cut, and let's press start. So while that's cutting out, I want to show you basically the result that you're going to get. But you're going to get both the outer side, just like we do with the hexagons, and the inners. And you want to make sure to hold on to those little inner pieces because you're going to need them. But what you can do to build a card really quickly is you can see how cool this pink card looks just with that thank you on there, right? So all I need to do now is cut the thank you down to size. So here's a little trick that I use when I'm trying to cut something down to size to match a card, which is I will lay the card right over it to make sure that it's lined up the way that I need it to be right before I cut. So I'm going to be a little bit generous here and go like that. And you can see I've cut off my little strip. Don't throw these strips away. They're great for embellishing. And I'm going to go ahead and chop off the side here, okay? And then just keep working my way around until I have trimmed it down to the correct size so that it will fit on the front of my card, just like so. Then I can embellish it with some of the extra strips if I want to make it look even more special, even more designed. And if you look over here at some of our finished ones, you can see these thank yous are just all the pieces of each other. So it's a whole new way of thinking about your washi tape and making something really special with something you already have.